Doctor Who Closing Time, the 12th episode of Series 6, is written by Gareth Roberts and starring Matt Smith and James Corden. So yeah, Stephen Moffat loved the Lodger episode, calling it quite close to his heart, and Gareth Roberts wanted to bring back James Corden as Craig Owens, and felt that he was one of the Who family. His performance got changed from the funny one to straight man to wacky doctor, and I do love Craig Owens. Steve Hughes, the director, compared the Doctor and Craig to three famous comedic duos, which are Laurel and Hardy, Abbott and Costello, and Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. I like that. So the title was going to be Everything Must Go, The Last Adventure, and Three Cybermen and a Baby, but obviously chose Closing Time. This episode is supposed to be fun, but setting the stage for the final and the Doctor's upcoming death. So at the Colchester in the shop at night, Kelly wanted to go for her date. She thought she has to stay for the cleaning job, but luckily Shona decides to do so Kelly can head off. While Sophie says goodbye to Craig and Alfie and left, Shona tidies stuff up from the changing room, but when she looked through the curtains there was a Cyberman, which is pretty scary. Gareth Roberts wanted to bring the Cybermen back because there was no returning monsters in this series unless a good man goes to war counts, and wanted to use them before the Doctor's death. I like the lightning bolt scratch on the face. I thought it looks really scary, and a lot of people complained about the use of Cybermen, which I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think they're well used in this episode in order to make it intense. You have noticed that Cyber Industries logo has been removed because the ones with logos on are from Parallel Earth, which makes sense. Daisy Haggard as Sophie only had small scenes because Daisy was busy playing Becky Shaw at Almeida Theatre in London. The Doctor arrived at Craig's new house, and I loved how he says, "You redecorated, I don't like it," using Patrick Troughton's famous line. So the Doctor went in, sonicking around, and woke Alfie up, crying. Later in the kitchen, Craig opens to the Doctor that he's bad at being a dad. The Doctor can speak baby, where Alfie likes being called Stormageddon, Dark Lord of All. Badass name. He called Sophie Mum, he called Craig not Mum, he called the Doctor also not Mum, and people peasants. Oh, that's so funny. Alfie is played by 7 babies, and sometimes the doll was used because of the baby hour rules, so the Doctor left and later ended up working in the shop entertaining the kids. So Craig happened to be there with Alfie and met up with the Doctor. After a Cybermat slide past, the Doctor, Craig and Alfie went in the lift and they teleported in the wreckage of a cyber ship. And I love the bit where the Doctor's about to kiss Craig. His line is fantastic, and we get a scary moment where Cyberman is coming towards them. But luckily the Doctor, Craig and Alfie are back in the lift and went out. The Doctor couldn't find any traces, so he assumed that it's shielded. The Doctor tried to push Craig away, but Craig refused because the safest place is standing next to the Doctor. So the Doctor talks to Val, who works in his shop, and she's played by Linda Barron, who previously sang the ballad of the Last Chance Saloon in The Gunfighters, and played Captain Rack in Enlightenment. And this is the first episode with Linda in that I saw. When I first watched this episode, it was with my mum and her cousin, and we were like, hang on a minute, is that the actress who played Auntie Mabel in Come Outside series, with the dog called Pippin and a spotty plane? And it's crazy, and she's a great actress and singer, and rest in peace Linda Barron. You will never be forgotten. Val thinks the Doctor and Craig are a couple raising Alfie. The Doctor asked Val if she'd seen anything unusual. After mentioning someone called Mary Warnock saw Dom Perridge snogging Andrea Groom outside Conservative Club on his so-called day off golfing, she says there was Silver Rat, which is Cybermat, and it's great they brought it back. Love the rat-like design. They remain terrifying, and I love the real teeth in it. It's well done. Val wanted it for her nephew, but everyone said there was no such thing as Silver Rat. Meanwhile, Craig does the investigation by flirting with Kelly, even though he's already taken, but didn't do it right as it's considered harassment, so she summons George, the security guard, just in case. After Craig accidentally knocked stuff down, the Doctor came and vouched for Craig. After he complimented George's uniform, he thanked the Doctor but not Craig. Kelly complains that her supervisor Shona didn't show up like she meant to, so the doctor suspected that she's missing. So while searching in the changing room, Craig was fed up the fact that the doctor made people love him. Even Alfie thinks Craig should believe in himself more. The doctor explains what cybermats are, then gone to the point where Craig argues with the doctor because aliens happened twice in Craig's life with the doctor being there. So he left with Alfie. So the doctor sees Amy and Rory in the shop. Girl asks Amy for autograph, and after they left, the doctor sees the poster of Amy invented a perfume called Petrichor with the girl who's tired of waiting slogan, which is pretty neat, and that really fits in with Amy's advertising a perfume. So after the shop is closed, the two men with the baby hid as George came past. George is captured by the Cyberman. After the doctor caught a cybermat, him and Craig got a fright seeing the real mouth. As George's scream is heard, the doctor went to investigate but got knocked out by a cyberman. Later Craig woke the doctor up and George is gone. At home, while Craig goes to the shop for milk, the doctor hears Alfie crying, so he came and settled him down. And he's done a great speech talking about the stars. I love that moment. Suddenly the cyberman came. The doctor carried Alfie outside but dropped his sonic screwdriver and ended up locked themselves outside in the back garden. Craig came back just after he put the milk in the fridge. Cybermat is attacking him, and I love the bit where the doctor smashed into the window and saved Craig. He's pretty badass. Then apparently the doctor broke a Cybermat prop after hitting it with a pan. The doctor managed to deactivate the Cybermats, then rewired the brain. The doctor felt bad because Craig is in danger when he's around, and at least Craig tried to get the doctor not to put himself down, but he mentions that his time's running out. So Craig dozed off, the doctor left with a cybermat. Craig woke up and saw the note. The doctor has written that reads, "Gone to stop a cyberman, sorry." And Craig's like, "You idiot." The doctor mentions silver men to Val for some reason, and he head off to the changing room. Craig came after with Alfie. He got Val to hold Alfie while he finds the doctor. The doctor went back into the cyber ship, which is at the other side of the wall in the changing room. The Cybermen found the doctor and restrained him. Craig tries to scare them with those barcode scanner, which it does look like a sci-fi laser gun to be fair, but sadly didn't go as planned, so the Cybermen put Craig in the machine and covered him with cyber armor. Gareth Roberts wanted to make it intense by getting the audience to think that Craig is going to be upgraded, which he did that alright. The moment where Alfie is crying and Craig is listening, it made him feel stronger, so he got out the armor. The Cybermen have their emotions back and dying. The Doctor and Craig teleported away back in the lift as the ship exploded. They reunited with Val and Alfie, as apparently Cybermen are blown up by love. Stephen Moffat felt it was Doctor Who version of a father bonding with his son. So Craig went to the till with his new shirt on and wearing a baby carrier with Alfie on. The moment where Craig found out that Val thinks the Doctor and Craig are a couple, the Doctor disappeared off. By the time Craig and Alfie came back home, their house is well tidy, so the Doctor came back using up his hours for him because they're mates, which is really nice. The Doctor picked up blue envelopes. Craig gave him Stetson from Sean, the same character from the lodger at the football. So the Doctor left as Sophie came back, and she was confused when Alfie said Doctor in English. The Doctor sees three kids saying he's here to help and they're very welcome. So back at the Lunar University, River looks at the photos of the Doctor's last day, with Madame Kavarian arrived saying "Tick-tock goes the clock." River speculates that the Doctor shot dead by an astronaut in the beach is just a story, but Kavarian said this is where it begins. So River gets forced into the astronaut suit and swimming in the sea with the children singing "Tick-tock goes the clock." Uh-oh. That scene was written by Stephen Moffat and reveals the good man that River has killed. So, that's closing time. I really love this episode. It's so relatable, fun and intense. I love the chemistry. I would say this is my favourite Series 6 episode. What did you think of closing time? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.